And we are rolling. We have UFC 325. This is the second card of the year, 2026, and the second of the Paramount Plus era, where we don't have to pay for the pay-per-view or, access the pay-per-view in other ways. As we get into UFC 325, Volkanovski versus Lopes 2. This is, of course, a rematch with Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. We're going to reverse the card order and get into this right away. For those that don't know, I'm Coin. This is mintedmma.com. It just recently released in a soft release, and we got breakdowns up in here. You see my free breakdown right there, the written breakdown if you want to read that. We also got Fight Fairy's breakdown right here. Isn't that dope? It's only a couple bucks as well, $2.99. Check it out on the www.mintedmma.com/event/UFC-325, or just go to the website and navigate. You'll find it. As we get into the card, I'm going to change it into, I suppose, list view, and we're going to pick even these UFC or non-UFC rather bouts here. These are road to UFC, these first three bouts, and we're going to go with, in the first fight, Sulangrangbo, the decision. He's from China, and he's fighting Lawrence Lui, who had a pretty cool stance, and maybe I should show that actually in my breakdown right here. This view my breakdown, I had the image right there. That was dope during the weigh-in. I thought it was cool, and there was a cooler angle than this, but that was the angle I captured. And this is the written breakdown, by the way. As you can see, he's marked off right there. Boom. Crossed off. Sorry, Lou. But I think Sulangrangbo is going to take this. He's 10-3-0, and he's bigger than Lawrence, although I guess he has a shorter reach, as you can see here, with Lawrence's 72-inch reach versus 66, which is quite short. That's a baby-ass reach, man. That's a baby-ass reach, but it doesn't really matter. And I believe, let me see, Sulangrangbo, his age. Yeah, this is the young kid. He's 20 years old. So here's the thing when it comes to UFC, or MMA rather, and experience. When it comes to being 20 years old, of course, you have not too much experience, and you also have no man strength. Like, I mean, you could be a strong kid at 20, but you're significantly weaker and at a disadvantage. But at the same time, when you're going up against someone like Lawrence Lui, who is 7'1", he has less experience even than the kid that's 9 years younger than him. And I think he's just put on the card mainly because he's from New Zealand. And this is a card in Australia. So, yeah, I mean, I just can't see him really winning. He doesn't really have the experience. He's a little bit older at 29. Like that little experience at 29. I don't know, man. I think you're going to get got by the young kid in Sulangrangbo. As we move on down the card, I suppose up the card, to Sebastian Szalay versus Keiichiro Nakamura. Hai, arigatou gozaimasu. Let's see. Sebastian, so I mean, you can see what my pick was here, was Nakamura, and he's the underdog, I believe, which is interesting. He is a few years younger, 4 years younger than Sebastian Szalay, with a 10-1 record, which is not too bad. He's fighting out of Australia. But again, this guy's small too. Look at his reach. It's 66 inches. He's 31 years old, and he has not fought in really any tough competition. Eternal MMA. What the heck is that, man? Nobody knows what the heck that is. Road to UFC. Nobody good comes out of Road to UFC, really. I mean, man, I don't know. It's just like it's like an Eastern thing. It's not just for Asians, but like the Eastern part of the world is Road to UFC. It's just like a regional, not regional, but I guess, regional-ish organization that basically takes people kind of like the Contender Series, but not even close to that level, because nobody's good in Road to UFC, really. But yeah, I chose Keiichiro Nakamura. He's 7-1-0, 27, so he's a little bit younger, he's a little bit bigger, and that's the thing, and I feel like he's a little bit more hyped. He has a little bit more motivation to win, even though, yes, Sebastian is from Australia, they're fighting in Australia, and I do think that matters a lot because matchmaking, a lot of the time, like, they want the hometown people to win the UFC because it's, you know, makes them more money, and people want them to come back, and people want to see their hometown fighters win. So typically that's the case, and Nakamura is the underdog here. It's a 145-pound bout. I don't know, I just feel like Nakamura is bigger than this guy, and he's just gonna kind of get him. He's gonna get him in round 2 KO, boy, as we move on up the card to Dom Marfan versus Sung-Wook Kim. And of course, fighting out of Korea, I choose Kim. Again, I'm going against the Australian. I feel like a lot of the Australians tonight are going to lose, and just because of their records and like the competition they faced. If we look at Dom Marfan, look at this guy. Let's see. 25 years old, 5'11", 75-inch reach. Decent reach there, and yeah, I mean, another eternal MMA guy and road to UFC. It's not impressive, and he lost to Salkilld, who's fighting tonight, or yeah, oh no, not tonight quite, but very soon. Anytime anybody watches this, it's probably gonna be way past the event anyway. But yeah, let's see. I mean, like, let's go to Wook Kim here. And it's not like he's fought in anything really, but he has more experience. He's a bigger man. I think he's bigger, right? 6 foot, 71-inch reach. His reach is shorter. That's interesting. But yeah, I saw him at the weigh-in. I just feel like he had the energy, and Dom Marfan seemed a little bit more like he was just there. Look at his face. I'm just here, bruh. Okay, alright then, I'm gonna choose the other guy then, via round 3 decision, as we move on up the card to Yizha versus Kaan Ofli. He's awfully bad, right? That's why I didn't choose him. I'm choosing Yizha via round 1 submission. He's gonna get him quick, boy. Look at the tail of the tape here. He lost, like, look at Kaan Ofli. Let's check him out. Kaan Ofli's profile here. 32 years old, 5'7", 66-inch reach. What's with all these guys with these baby reaches? A lot of the women in the freaking UFC have this reach. I mean, you know, I'm not, you know. Anyway, that's why I think this guy with 26-5 record, which is kind of insane. He's 3 years younger than the other guy, and he has so much more experience. And this featherweight out of China has fought in the UFC. So, I mean, like, right? Freaking, let me go back real quick. I mean, I guess he has. Yeah, he has too. Because this is now not the road to the UFC thing. Although, what's his name? Did fight in road to UFC, this guy. Which, he's a little bit of an exception when I said that you don't really get talent coming out of road to UFC. I'm paraphrasing myself, but yeah, he's somewhat of an exception because he's pretty good. And Kaan Ofli is awfully freaking mediocre. Coming out of Turkey. Nah, he's another small guy, man. And like, interestingly, it's like, just because they're small doesn't mean that they're gonna lose. But it's the proportions. I feel the proportions matter. Like, you got them freaking little like T-Rex arms and stuff, man. I don't know. Like, you're going up against like a lankier kid, just hungrier, younger, way more fights. I think he gets it quick. Submission round 1 as we move on up the card to Jonathan Micallef versus Oban Elliot. I have Elliot via round 2 KO. Not too much about this one. Honestly, I was gonna go for Micallef, especially because, again, I'm going against the Australian again. I get what I'm doing. I don't think it's smart necessarily. I don't think it's smart to keep going against the Australians in Australia. And I know that if I get these picks wrong, I'm going to refer to me saying this because they're fighting in Australia, dog. But I don't know. Like, I just can't pick this guy. He got knocked out that one time. And it's not like Oban Elliot is really that great. He's gotten knocked out as well 2 times, in fact. But he has more UFC experience. He has more experience in Cage Warriors, which is not a bad organization. It's one of the few kind of regional organizations that I typically think is not bad. Like, if you see somebody coming out of Cage Warriors, I don't really scoff at it, you know. But if I see freaking Hex Fight Series, what the heck is that, man? No, you know. And he did not put on a impressive performance against Kevin Jousset, who he did beat via unanimous decision. But I mean, this guy 10-5, dog. This guy out of freaking France, oui, baguette. Nah, man. I mean, I know I spell my name the French way, coin, but this guy freaking sucked, you know? Like, I don't know, like, and he went to a decision with the freaking guy, you know what I'm saying? He went to a decision with the guy, so I'm gonna go with the guy that was way more hyped. I saw him at the weigh-ins, and Oban Elliot, he seems a little bit temperamental. He got some emotional problems, maybe. You know, I'm not going to put that on him. Maybe he does. But, yeah, he's young. He's hungry. He wants to take a win because look at his record. He just lost to Seokhyun Ko, and he wants to freaking win. He hasn't lost actually that much, interestingly. I thought he lost a couple of times recently, and he beat Basil Hafez, who's pretty decent, via Hammer Fist. I mean, Hafez is a tough guy. I don't know if he's decent. I think he's a little bit overrated anytime people kind of bring him up, because yeah, anyway, we choose Oban Elliot via KO in round 2 as we move on up the card to Jacob Malkoun versus Torrez Finney. Now here's where I'm going for an Australian, because Torrez is built like all the freaking big black dudes that just get tired. They like, look at this. Let's check out his freaking fighter profile. He's undefeated. Look at that. Last 6, beautiful, all green. That's so beautiful. All respect to that, man. And he's 27. He's a young guy, but he's like a hulking guy. He's 5'8", and he's in middleweight. Like, bro, you're that freaking huge. You're gonna get so tired. I swear. I swear you're gonna get so gassed, man. But he might win. Like, I don't, you know, this is a heavier weight. He has a long reach. He's a freaking big guy. He probably hits pretty hard. He's from the scrapyard. But, I don't know, man. Like, he went to a split decision with Robert Valentin. This guy, you know, this freaking dude. You went to a decision with this guy, my guy? Yeah, I remember that performance too. It was real sad, real boring performance out of Torrez Finney here. And I mean, his record's nice, 11-0. But just like Mike Perry came up into the UFC with like 10-0, and he did pretty well. I shouldn't compare them because I don't think he's gonna get up to the point where Mike Perry's at, you know. So I probably shouldn't compare him. But I guess I'm saying that like there are certain guys that come in undefeated with like decent records, but then they enter the UFC and get defeated, right? It just kind of happens when you face tough competition. As we, choose Jacob Malkoun via round 3 KO, because Torrez Finney is going to get tired with that big old body. Look into them traps, boy. You got some big old traps, boy, like that big old freaking round head, too. God dang, it matches. It's all so round. But anyway, we move on up the card to Cam Rowston versus Cody Brundage. I think Cody kind of sucked. I ain't gonna lie. 11-7, 11-7, and freaking look at this: win, loss, no contest, win, no contest, loss. What the heck kind of record is that, my guy? I'm a USA baby, but gosh darn, my guy, look at your freaking record. Look at your freaking body. You're a middleweight. You're light heavyweight. Are they fighting at light heavyweight? No, okay, no. They're fighting at middleweight, 185 right there. That's the correct thing to look at right there. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you did fight at light heavyweight. It would have been pretty small. But yeah, because it's like you're at middleweight and you're a little bit tubby at middleweight. You couldn't be at 170, Cody. 170. I promise this guy can make 170 with that much freaking body fat. He has barely any muscle. Like, he's like a skinny fat guy. You know, I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating. He's not skinny fat. But in terms, like, just in MMA and, like, I guess, like, physique, the physique world and bodybuilding, he's a skinny fat guy. That's his body type in that kind of world. He's skinny fat, dog. You just lose a little bit of weight, you go down to freaking welterweight. You'll be like Cody freaking Covington. Yeah. Don't forget to hydrate as well. He just has way too many losses. Cam Rowston is on a really good streak. I mean, just look at this crap. Freaking trash, man. I mean, at least he beat Julian Marquez. The Cuban Missile Crisis. Like, man. Oh, he beat Zach Reese? Oh, yeah. Wow. That's a decent win. Yeah. And he did not beat Jacob Malkoun. He took an illegal elbow to the back of the head to win. So Jacob's fighting tonight, right? And yeah, that's kind of a dumb move on his part. But Jacob, I'm pretty sure from what I remember, was whooping up on Cody, as most people do. And yeah, we're choosing Cam Rowston via round 2 submission as we move on up the card to Junior Tafa versus Billy Elekana. Junior Tafa kind of sucked. He kind of freaking sucked hard. I feel ghetto just thinking about this guy because he sucks that much, man. Like, no talent. What the heck is this guy doing in the UFC? Look at this. So he came into the UFC right after Ryzen, and he TKO'd some Japanese guy. I mean, it's okay, all right then. And then he loses to Muhammad Usman. That's not the good Usman. That's Muhammad Usman. That's the good bad one. The one that's good at being bad at fighting. He freaking beats Parker Porter. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense. Then he loses. Then he beats random guy that doesn't matter. Then he loses. I almost forgot who I was talking about because he's so freaking insignificant. Junior Tafa. He was so hyped up because, like, I guess a lot of the Australians typically get hyped up, especially when they're like the bigger weight classes, light heavyweight. But you know, he just sucks, dog. He's gonna get knocked out via round 1 KO by Billy Elekana with the longer reach. He's gonna get surprised by his reach, and he's gonna realize, man, I am not a UFC fighter, says Junior Tafa, as we move on up the card to Quillan Salkilld versus Jamie Mullarkey. Now, good performance, man. I picked against him. I didn't know who the heck this guy was. Now I freaking know. This lightweight 26-year-old, 6 feet tall, 75-inch reach man with a 10-1 record, Quillan Salkilld, defeated Nasrat Haqparast by head kick in round 1. Like, he got him, man. It wasn't like it was like some kind of fluke. You know, sometimes you catch somebody, but sometimes you're just way freaking better than the other person. And Nasrat's not bad, man. Like, Nasrat's pretty freaking good, I would say. He's a little bit of a boring fighter, but he's not freaking bad. And this guy freaking killed him. Freaking killed him, man. And I think he's going to do the same to Jamie Mullarkey. Yeah, he had a bout against Rong Zhu, but that was canceled, I believe. Rong Zhu backed out. Let me see. We have those canceled bouts at the bottom. Yeah, Rong Zhu withdrew indeed. So now he has a new opponent, does Salkilld, and he's gonna kill the man in round 1. Round 1 KO for Salkilld. I'm sorry, Jamie Mullarkey, you're a tough guy, but you get got so easy, my guy. It's got so easy, Jamie. As we move on up the card to Tuivasa versus Tallison Teixeira. Look at that. Look at how much red you can see on the gosh darn screen. I think that's freaking insane how bad Tai is. Like, Tai's better than the other insignificant guy I was talking about. At least I can remember Tai's name. And he puts on fun performances, right? And he's a goofy guy, always doing them shoeies. Disgusting as shit. Disgusting, dog. My god, you disgusting. But anyway. I mean, like, the thing is, he's losing to good guys. Look at that. He's losing to Cyril Gane, who's freaking underrated. He's losing to Sergey. He's losing to Alexander Volkov, the freaking man. I feel like he's like the man of the division for some reason. Like, cause he's so towering and like he's a thick, towering man. He's not one of those really tall, skinny guys. He's like, he's a man. And Marcin Tybura, you know, I mean, that's a good, decent win. Or a decent loss. Why did I think he lost? Why did I think? Yeah, see, that's the part with Tai. He's losing to guys like freaking Marcin Tybura, he's a hustler, freaking Marcin. But man, he's not that good. But he is a veteran, and I typically go for veterans. But it's not like he's that great, and he's losing to Marcin of all people. I understand the rest. I understand Kaan, Volkov, Rosenstruik, but I don't understand Tybura in this instance, man. Like, that's why I can't go for Tai. He's just unpredictable. 32 years old. I think he's just gonna get got by the longer, lankier man at 6'7" with an 83-inch reach. That's 1 inch reach less than John Jones. So, you know, I think this man is not great, probably, from what I remember. But I mean, he got caught by Derek Lewis. Derek catches people. This is heavyweight. You get caught. Like, Tai can catch him too, for sure. But I mean, nah, I don't think so. I think Tai is just gonna like get a couple of body shots to his gut, and he's basically gonna give up in round one. Round one KO for Tallison. As we move on up the card to Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Ofli. Now, this is a 155-pound bout. If you look at Rafael's record, you see those 3 losses in a row, but it don't mean too much. It's not like Tai's 5. It's not the same thing, man. Look at this. Look at this. Justin Gaethje, Mateusz Gamrot, which doesn't make that much sense, but like, because he got injured. Like, freaking, this guy keeps getting injured in his fights because he's throwing those kicks and like applying so much pressure to his knees and stuff. But yeah, I mean, not a good loss there. But the Justin Gaethje ones make sense, and like, yeah, he got beat up, but at the same time, like, it's not like he didn't put on a good performance. He put on a way better performance than Patty, right? He actually hit Justin. It was competitive, and yeah, it was like clear win for Justin. But just because it's a clear win does not mean that it wasn't competitive. It was a competitive fight both times. This was a majority decision the first time. But yeah, I think Rafael's a little bit underrated. Ofli has the momentum going, except for that oops, let's not open it in a split view. I don't like split view. And Ofli, 12'2", 29 years old, 5'11". He is longer and larger than Rafael. Longer reach by 4 inches. He's taller by like 3 or 4 inches. But like, look at his competition. Look at the freaking competition he's fought. James Longtop, King Green, Jamie Mullarkey. Like, what the heck is this competition, dog? And then he came out of the Contender Series before that. I think he's overhyped, but man, I mean, oh, you can clip this, I guess, if I'm wrong, but I think this man's overhyped. I think he's overhyped just because he got a freaking spinning wheel kick against freaking King Green. Bobby? Everybody knocks out Bobby, dog. Let's check it out. Let's look at it. Yeah, punches, left hook, ground and pound. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty easy to knock out, man. Freaking King Green. I don't think Hoofy's as good as people think he is, and I think Rafael's better than most people think he is. Just because he's losing, he got those 3 losses. And this Bahamondes one is pretty decent because Bahamondes is a tall, lanky guy, which I guess is good in the sense that, like, he's taller and lankier than freaking Hoofy. And it was a clear, not easy, but it was a clear win for Rafael. So I think it's going to be kind of the same thing, and that's why I have him be a... Oh, I thought I had him be a decision, to be honest, but it looks like I chose round 2 KO. TKO, I can choose decision. Maybe I should, but I feel like Hoofy's not as good as people give him credit for, and maybe that's where my line of thought is that he's going to get got. Maybe not. We'll have to see as we move on up the card to Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Don't forget to hydrate. We view the bout details, and I think BSD is just going to run through Hooker. I think he's stronger. He's like, he hits harder. He's going to back up Dan. Dan's just has a habit of backing up. There's no way he's not backing up. And even if he doesn't, what is he going to do? He's going to go forward and do what? What's you going to do, Dan, if you go forward? I just don't see it unless he clips BSD, because of course he can clip BSD. I mean, BSD's been knocked out a couple times, right? Let's see. Let's check out his record. Yeah, he's been knocked out twice by Renato Moicano and Dustin Poirier. But, like, he wasn't knocked out by Renato. It was like a doctor stoppage. But yeah, I would say he's good. And I think I used to underrate him quite a bit, BSD, but I think he's way better than Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's an exciting fighter, but he's kind of resting on his laurels. He just likes to fight. He likes to make the money that he's being paid, because he probably gets paid pretty well. And by like UFC standards, he's probably pretty up there because he's a veteran at this point and he puts on exciting performances. But yeah, he's probably going to put on another exciting performance as he gets choked out. As we move on up the card to the main event of the evening, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. This is a championship bout, of course, 145 pounds. If you look at Alexander's record here, 3 losses, man. This man do be losing. He do be losing. But look who he's losing to. Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev twice. That's all. That's all. And he beat Diego already in his last freaking fight, man. You know? And typically, statistically, the fighter that won the first time wins the second time. That's just how it works. But he is aging. That's what I'm worried about. He looks kind of old lately, but I think I said that last time too. But I picked him. Still picked him. So I'm picking him again against Diego Lopes. Decision. There's not too much to say. I think it just ends up being kind of the same thing, because what is Diego going to do? He's going to blitz him? That's his only chance of winning, in my opinion, is blitzing Volkanovski and somehow KOing him. And it's possible. I think Diego could probably do it if he had enough gas, but this is a 5-round championship fight. I don't think he's going to take the chance on gassing himself and not being able to go 5 rounds if he needs to. So what's going to happen is he's going to have to hold himself back, and Volkanovski is just going to outplay him. He's just going to play the game for 5 rounds. Yeah, I think that's what happens. This has been UFC 325 picks and predictions. Don't forget to check out mintedmma.com. Submit your own picks and predictions. You know, stay accountable. We have profiles here. If we check out my profile. Yeah, Minted MMA. See, my last thing here, this is the first event that the site was released with, was UFC 324, you know, first event in 2026. And here we have accuracy. I only got 64% because I got 7 out of 11. You know, I lost 4 of them. I didn't get 4 right. So that is pretty interesting. And if we click on this, it will take me to the event page with my stats on it. So you can even see my stats publicly here. And there's my method accuracy. I'm pretty accurate with the method. 7 correct. And I'm also accurate with, we need more stats in here for sure. But yeah, that's what we have. Pick stats, round accuracy, not too accurate. Only 1 out of 11 correct on that. But yeah, that's Minted MMA. Also look at the breakdowns where you can check out things like Fight Fairies breakdown right here for only a couple of bucks. You can preview it. Oh, look at that. How cool is that? Minted MMA. Check it out. www.mintedmma.com. This has been my picks. You have been you. I'm Coin for those that don't know. And hooty hoo.